When I was a kid, I was fascinated by two things: stamp collecting and dinosaurs. Postage stamps seemed like magical tickets to faraway countries, and dinosaurs seemed like aliens from our own planet, separated from us only by time. Hi, my name is James Gurney, and I'm the illustrator that worked for Australia Post to create Australia's Age of Dinosaurs. Creating these stamps was an amazing journey, and in this video I want to take you on the entire tour of what went into the making of the stamps. I was really excited to get this assignment from Australia Post, and it was extremely important that everything in this stamp issue was carefully researched. So I worked with Dr. Tom Rich, who's done a lot of work in Australia to discover quite a number of very hard to find dinosaurs there. And also Barbara Wagstaff, who's an expert on the paleobotany, the ancient plants that lived during the time of the dinosaurs.
Well, the general scene that's to be depicted on these stamps is the dinosaurs of Australia during basically the Middle Cretaceous.
One thing I learned when I did the World of Dinosaurs stamps for the U.S. Post Office is that each stamp has to work on its own, but it also has to make sense as part of a larger scene. In 1993, Australia released a scenic stamp painted by Peter Trussler, and they asked me to use the same design template. Now, if you take a group of dinosaurs and put the template over them, they may or may not fit, because they exist in real space. Sometimes they have to be lifted up or moved back to fit into the scene, because dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes. So the challenge for the designer of a mini-sheet scene of this kind is both a two-dimensional problem and a three-dimensional problem at the same time. At this early stage, before really getting into the research, what I wanted to do is take the list of dinosaurs that I was given and place them into a scene and just see if I could visualize something right off the bat. Of course, I knew this wouldn't survive the first meetings really, but it would give us something to start with. What did the Southern Hemisphere look like during this time of dinosaurs? I've painted this basketball to show the South Pole and the continents that were around it as the ancient supercontinent of Gondwana was breaking up. This is Antarctica and the South Pole, and you can see that, that Australia was just beginning to break away between 120 million and 100 million years ago. India was a separate subcontinent that was heading up to Asia, and there was Africa and South America. You know, it's neat to think that the environment where Koolasuchus and some of these dinosaurs lived was a polar climate with snow on the ground and just as cold as this environment of New York State in the winter, and that these creatures would be adapted to 4 months of darkness in the wintertime and could manage in this really cold weather. Yeah, it forms these long kind of grooves and then these kind of crystalline shapes around. This is great. This is perfect, just what we need. You can see the leaves through it too. But there was really only so much I could get from my backyard and my book collection. I needed to go to Australia. Australia Post and Museum Victoria invited me to make the journey to Melbourne for a week of study with Tom Rich and his staff at the museum. And there they have a great collection of original fossil material that I was able to go through and study firsthand. It really helps to see the fossils and to even hold them in your hand, to get an idea of the scale and the variety of creatures that would have lived at this time. Not only dinosaurs, but insects and other invertebrates, and plants and fish, and mammals, including a little hedgehog similar to the living echidna.
We only know it from a single bone, but it's virtually identical to the forearm of the living echidna. So we decided to depict it just as a living echidna. So unlike these dinosaurs, this has got a living relative that's almost identical to it as far as we know the animal.
But to me, the most impressive non-dinosaur was the amphibian Koolasuchus, who had a head the size of a trash can lid and was an ambush predator that would hide underwater and attack its prey from below.